In the previous session, we were talking about the pupillary reflex. So here we want to talk about the pupillary reflex. And we should also talk a little bit about the accommodation reflex. Pupillary reflex and accommodation reflex. So it has been seen that when you shine light on one eye, the pupil is seen to contract. Usually the pupil has a diameter of around 8 millimeters and it can contract till up to 1.5 millimeters. So if you shine light on a pupil, the pupil contracts, the pupil becomes smaller, the iris becomes larger and the pupil becomes smaller. In the eye that is shown light, this is called direct pupillary reflex. The response of the eye by contracting its pupil on the perception of light is pupillary reflex. Now obviously, just like any other reflex, it has its reflex arc or reflex pathway. The first component being the receptor, the photoreceptor, the afferent pathway being the optic nerve. Those are axons of the ganglion cells, and then there are centers, there are nuclei which will bring about the processing of this reflex, and then the efferent pathway, which is the oculomotor nerve in this case, and then you have the effector organ, which are the ciliary body and the muscles in the iris. So pupillary reflex. The other thing about pupillary reflex is that when you shine light on one eye, the other eye also shows the similar kind of constriction. So you have direct light reflex, pupils being constricted on the eye that is having the perception of light, and also the other eye which doesn't have light falling on it will also constrict bilateral. So there is bilateral constriction at the same time. This is direct light reflex, and on the other eye we see consensual or indirect light reflex. So let us study the pathway of the pupillary light reflex first, and then we'll talk about accommodation reflex. The pupillary light reflex. So the receptors are in the retina. They are the photoreceptors. So temporal fibers arising from the ganglion cells will stay on the ipsilateral side. Nasal fibers will cross over to the other side. So crossover, nasal fibers become contralateral. Then there is some axons of the ganglion cell which will supply pretectal nucleus or nuclei of the pretectum. Now this nucleus of the pretectum will supply Edinger-Westphal nuclei on both sides. So there is bilateral innervation from one pretectal nuclei. The same is also true for the other side. So light falling here will be sent to the pretectal nuclei, and this pretectal nuclei will stimulate Edinger-Westphal nuclei on the both sides. Presympathetic ganglionic fibers will arise from Edinger-Westphal nuclei. They will go to ciliary ganglions. They will go to the ciliary ganglion. Obviously, the same will happen on the other side. So this is parasympathetic preganglionic fibers. They will go to the ciliary ganglion, and from the ciliary ganglion there will be generation of postganglionic parasympathetic fibers, which will stimulate the ciliary body and the iris. So both the ciliary body and the iris will constrict. The circular muscle in the iris will bring about a constriction of the pupil, and the ciliary body will also constrict, thereby loosening the zonules and allowing for the lens to increase in anterior-posterior diameter. So anyway, here in this case, what are the components? The first component is the photoreceptor. Let us draw a photoreceptor here. So the first component being the photoreceptor. The second component being the axon of the ganglion cell. These are the nuclei, the center for integration of the reflex, and this is the afferent path. So when you shine light on any one of the eye, there will be this pathway which will result in constriction of the pupil on the same eye and also on the contralateral eye, because the same pathway as here is being followed also on this side. So this is basically what the pupillary reflex is all about. Now, this is optic nerve. So when you check the pupillary reflex, you are checking for the integrity and the well-being of the photoreceptors, the optic nerve, the centers, and also the efferent nerve. The efferent nerve in this case is the third nerve or the oculomotor nerve. So optic nerve, center, oculomotor nerve. Now regarding the accommodation reflex. What is accommodation reflex? It has been seen that if you ask a subject to look at the distance at the periphery and then ask him to focus at a near point, at something near to, like for example reading or looking at an object while working at it. So you see so you see three things happen. The first thing you notice is that the eyeballs converge. The eyeballs will come together. While looking at a distance, they are looking out parallelly. While looking at a near object, they will converge. So convergence of eyeball. You also notice that the pupils constrict. So accommodation reflex, reflex has three components. One, convergence. Pupillary constriction and increase in anterior posterior diameter of lens. Or antero-posterior diameter of lenses, because both the eye will be involved. So three things happen. Convergence you can readily see. Constriction also you can see. The anterior-posterior diameter increase is a little difficult to see, but it can be seen. There are maneuvers to see it. So the constriction of the lens happens also in accommodation reflex. So it is happening regularly in light reflex. It also happens in accommodation reflex. So what is the difference? Obviously there must be some difference.